Hello, Ahval viewers. Today we have very distinguished guest, Henri Barkey, who has been known as a Turkey expert and Kurdish issues expert in Washington, D.C., one of the most prominent voice over Turkish-American issues. Today we are going to talk about Pastor Brunson's release. Henri, welcome to Ahval.
Thank you.
My first question, did you expect this decision, and what does it mean for Turkish-US relations?
Well, I did expect this decision. In fact, actually, even yesterday I tweeted that he was going to be released today. I think this was very obvious only because there was a deal for his release a few months ago, and he was released from prison but not allowed to leave Turkey. And Trump felt double-crossed and immediately exacted his revenge on Turkey by criticizing the Turks in such a way that the Turkish lira declined sharply, creating greater problems for the Turkish government that is already suffering and has to manage a deep recession in Turkey. So the Turkish government and Mr. Erdogan could not afford another situation in which Trump would go after them through his tweets and thereby push the Turkish lira down. So they came up with this ridiculous charade today where a number of the secret witnesses recanted their testimony in the Brunson case. So it was a charade. We all knew this was going to happen. The question is what happens next in Turkish-American relations. I would say there are still serious problems. I mean, there's a case of the Foreign Service nationals, including Hamza Uluçay from Adana, who has worked for the US government for 37 years and whose request to be released was denied just when Brunson was released. So it is possible that there is a larger deal, and maybe they will, Uluçay and Metin Tobruz and the others will be released soon. I doubt it. I doubt it because I don't see this White House really caring about anybody except for Brunson. And but fundamentally, there's not only the issue of these other detainees, but also the fact that Turkey is still very upset at the U.S. role in Syria, U.S.'s alliance with the Syrian Kurds, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So it remains to be seen whether relations are going to improve dramatically. I mean, we see Erdogan attacking United States every day, and the Turkish press, which is 95% controlled by the government, essentially repeats that mantra. And what is really shocking is that if you look at the Turkish press today, there seems to be only one major enemy for Turkey, and that's the United States.
My second and final question. So can we say, or should we expect Turkish-US relations from now on at least get a little better? And also, why do you think, what is your theory at least, that Turkey held this pastor for so long and everybody was expecting him to release a couple of months ago? It didn't happen then, but now it's happening.
Well, I think Brunson and the others and the consular officials who are being detained by Turkey were essentially pawns that were to be used by Erdogan to extract things from the United States. And in a way, I think you can argue that in the case of Brunson, he miscalculated. There was a deal, as I said, on Brunson. I mean, part of the deal is that Attila Yayla, who's the banker who's in jail for sanctions busting in New York, will be allowed to go back and serve the remaining of his sentence in Turkey. And there's probably some kind of a deal on the size of the fine that the US government is going to impose on Halkbank for having broken US sanctions on Iran. In a way, you can argue that Erdogan did get certain things out of the United States, but he was probably hoping for a lot more. And maybe something on Syria, maybe something on he still may be hoping that he will get concessions from the United States. I doubt that very much beyond what has happened so far. Gülen is not going to be released anytime soon because there's not enough evidence that Turkey has provided. And so I don't see what the contours of a larger deal is. With respect to the Foreign Service nationals, I'm hoping that they were discussed as part of this Brunson deal and that they will be released anytime soon, but I don't trust the US government to have done so.
Okay, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Hope to see you in near future again.
Thank you.